Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Garrick back with the podcast, along with Kobe.
What's up?
Jackson.
Hey.
And our editor, Hudson.
What's up?
So today's episode, we're going to be talking about a hero's journey. We're just really a journey in general of a character that everyone has seen a change in. And one of our examples, we're going to talk about Iron Man.
Yes, that is right. Iron Man.
Which, of course, if you've seen Endgame, you know that character goes through a ton of changes, especially in the past 11 years, 22 movies that have existed in the Marvel Universe.
3,000 minutes.
3,000 minutes worth, exactly.
Oh, wow.
That's an I love you 3,000.
I'm married.
So I like you 3000.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It was a joke.
We like you 3,000, Miss Schultz.
I thought it was I love you. Wait.
It is.
It's I Love You 3000.
She's my teacher.
We don't want to
Anyways,
make it weird.
back on subject.
Oh, yeah. We're 5 seconds in.
We're already off topic.
Let's
Let's get back
the
on demonetized.
I just
So anyway, starting in 2008 Iron Man released the first one? Yeah.
let me look it up.
Yeah.
I wasn't too big in Marvel.
Iron Man 1.
So anyway, the first Iron Man movie, we were introduced to this millionaire playboy who inherited his parents' company, and he was a genius. Now, of course, as we all know, he's kind of a jerk, right? You know,
Yeah,
I think we all agree with that.
He's not very nice.
No.
If I'm being honest, I didn't really watch much of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
vaguely remember. I'm rolling off memory right
All I
now.
remember is him fighting that dude with the electric arms.
Oh, that was the second one? No?
I just remember he wasn't.
Third one's the one
nicest
with all the
person.
drones of him. Or anyway.
He
So-
wasn't the nicest person.
But yeah, throughout most of the movies, he's not a very...
Which I understand why, his parents.
Yeah, I mean, his parents necessarily didn't make him like that, but I feel like that affected him in a way. Not only that, but he also has all this money, you know, and typically when people are rich, they're above themselves, you know, they're very, I guess you could call it,
Selfish?
no, not selfish, but you think
Stubborn?
higher of yourself than everyone else, you're above everyone else.
Entitled.
Yeah, entitled, that's a good word. What'd you say?
Entitled parents. Next episode.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Talk about experiences about that. Anyway, he has he of course has a lot of events that happen. That leads us to the first Avengers movie, where Iron Man is still a jerk. You know, he's recruited by Nick Fury. He doesn't really care about anyone else on the team. You know, one of them could die, he wouldn't care. You know,
about himself.
Yeah, and then he, of course, saved the day by intercepting the nuke. Was it a nuke? It was a missile. I remember that. And he exploded it, and he nearly died. And then Hulk yelled at him. Hey, he survived. Everyone can use a good Hulk yell once in a while. Been in these movies.
How did we get Hulk out of that?
Because remember in the first Avengers when Iron Man's dying, you know, well, he's not dying, but he's just laying there, kind of passed out. And then Hulk, you know, just walks up to him, yells.
Also an in-game.
Oh, we're jumping. Like,
Whoa!
We're skipping the Endgame.
We're skipping Civil War. That's a very important part.
That is an important part.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, what about Endgame?
Oh, and Age of Ultron.
What about Endgame?
Vaguely remember that one.
What about
In
Endgame?
Endgame?
I saw that.
In in-game, Iron Man kind of grows up. He has a kid.
But he still shows little signs of selfishness.
Now, Civil War. Now, if you go back to Civil War and you see how that character was back then, you know, dealing with Captain America, you know how, you know, Captain America and his teammates or his group were afraid to break away from the law. Iron Man's trying to stay within the law. You know, he's kind of, I don't know what you would call that. I'm trying to think of a word. It's a very common trend of me thinking of words on here. I mean,
He's being very civil.
yeah, Civil War. Now, this in Civil War, you are introduced to a big character in Tony Stark's life, which is Spider-Man.
Oh.
Which we all know gets the Stark internship, as you could call it.
Quote unquote.
And if you watch the Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, because there's like 18 Spider-Man movies now, it's ridiculous. And they're good.
My bad. I did not.
We are copyright striked now. But as you see in the Spider-Man movie, Tony doesn't treat Peter like a human. He kind of treats him like an employee, which he essentially is. You know, I mean, and Peter is very, very, I guess, inspired by him.
He looks up to him.
Yeah.
Role model.
You know, and then you see after Homecoming, you get into Infinity War, and you see that he starts to care more about Peter Parker.
You realize it's not all about him.
Yeah, and not only that, but
He's actually growing up.
I think he comes to kind of realize this kid as his own son, because you know throughout most of the movies, he kind of wants to have a kid. Yeah, in the beginning of Infinity War, he talked about wanting to have a kid.
And
Yes.
in game, he has it, and he kind of shows that selfishness where he doesn't want to go back in time and fix everything because he doesn't want to lose his kid.
But yeah, well, he still keeps the kid because of the way the movie works.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to risk it.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't. I mean, I can understand his point though. It's like, why change things now? It's been 5 years. You know, what's the point in doing this? Everyone's finally adapting to it. Yeah. You know, and of course, once again, we're jumping movies. I'm going back to Infinity War. You never really see anyone. You never really see him get affected by anyone's death. I think when War Machine gets hit in Civil War, he's upset. He kind of gets a little angry.
So Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then of course in Infinity War, when Spider-Man starts to fade away, you can see the hurt in him. Yeah, you know, and even then, people didn't care much about Iron Man sometimes. Doctor Strange. Yeah. He did not like Iron Man. You know. And of course, we see that through Endgame that, you know, he doesn't show the soft side to him.
No, I'm nothing. It's nothing.
But you see the soft side of him in Endgame when he's looking at the picture of him and Peter, you know, and you can still tell he cares. You know, even though he really doesn't show it sometimes.
But deep down he does.
Yeah, and then you even see that more further on into the movie when they all are brought back to life, you know. And the first thing he does is he just hugs him, you know.
Because he got his, quote, son back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then you see, you know, Tony's never the person really willing to sacrifice himself, except in Endgame when he did.
He sacrificed himself for everybody else.
Pour one out for our boy Tony.
Great. So he started off being selfish and ended up giving his life just to save everybody else. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he transformed into an unselfish kind of person.
Yeah. He transformed. You know,
What a great journey.
It was a great journey.
If you really think about it, if you go back and watch all the movies he's in, you really do see that transformation. Just how different of a person he becomes.
Didn't he already have like a connection with with the kid in one of the movies already?
He did.
I met 3.
Yeah, he met this little kid or whatever that.
I saw a clip and I was like, what?
Yeah, and he's in the Endgame. He's at the funeral.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to edit that out. Making me lose my train of thought. And not only that, but once again, at the end of Endgame, or even kind of when Pepper Potts, his wife, joins the fight, you see that she's protecting him. You see that everyone else is kind of, you know, starting to care about him more, you know.
Well, we kind of saw him change a little. Remember whenever his house blew up? And
which one was that?
I don't know. It was his house blew up by this helicopter with rockets.
Yeah, I remember.
And
he threw the suit thing on Pepper, so she wouldn't.
That's
die.
right.
That's when we started to see a change.
Yeah.
Because he cared about someone he loved, and he started to stop being selfish.
And even though him and Captain America had these differences where they didn't see eye to eye on everything, you know, once again towards the end of the movie, you start realizing how much Captain America cared for him. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, and then of course once after Iron Man does sacrifice himself, you see Pepper, you know, coming. You know, just telling him he can rest now, and you can see in Tony's eyes when he says "Pep." You know, you can tell that he knew he sacrificed himself. You know, he knew he did the right thing deep down. And then, of course, you know, the part that broke us all was when Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, walked up to him as he was dying
and said, "Mr. Stark, we won."
If you didn't shed a tear, you're not a man.
I cried about 10 times.
I cried about 10 times too. I cried 2,000 times.
I cried once. That was that scene.
Wow.
I'm a trooper.
You're not.
We're all forgetting Black Widow, but who cares about Black Widow?
Yeah.
She's still chilling there.
She sucked. She had nothing.
She had no power. She didn't even have a bow and arrow.
Another journey of a main character to be Anakin Skywalker. He went from being the chosen one, throwing it all away, going to the dark side, then in the end comes to the light, sacrifices his self to kill the Emperor to save Luke.
Yes.
Technically save Luke, but you know.
Yeah, you know what? That is a very good one.
Yeah.
I think that's a worthy one talking about. You know,
Kobe and Miyabi said that. Kobe and Miyabi is the one that came up with that one.
You know what? You get 5 points for your grade.
Yes, sir.
That's perfect. So that caps off Iron Man. So I guess we can start talking about Anakin Skywalker. You know how because we do see his full journey, you know, from childhood to death.
You see his transformation from the light side, wanting to do good, getting manipulated by the Emperor into going to the dark side, and then later
killing Samuel L. Jackson.
Seeing the Emperor, he was sitting there watching the Emperor electrocute his son, and then that kind of just made him realize that he ain't right.
Yeah, I feel like he
stood up for him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
right decision.
And you see,
he killed himself.
And you see how he was brought up in this world. You know, he came from absolutely nothing.
Having
pod racing. Yeah, he had a mom. That was it. Just working. What did he work at?
He worked for. He was a slave for.
That's right. He was like an indentured slave of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Jar Jar?
No,
dude.
Anakin Skywalker. We'll talk about Jar Jar conspiracies in another
I'm just
episode.
letting y'all know I'm staying silent during this part because I don't.
You don't watch Star Wars?
No.
Alright, well,
Just say a lightsaber once in a while, all right?
Lightsaber.
So, and then of course we see him, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. They come and they
see the potential in him.
Yeah, and he becomes Obi-Wan becomes his, what do they call him, Jedi apprentice?
Dude, I remember that episode.
No,
Padawan.
Anakin's his apprentice.
It's the
Padawan,
Padawan.
yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. You know, and of course, as you see him, you start seeing him temper with the light side or dark side. You know,
You can see
start breaking
you can see the influence coming.
Yeah, you can see.
Ever since about when his mom died, and then
Yes, I remember because he went over there and he killed all them people.
the anger got to him, and he killed all of them.
What insane people were they called?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Tusken Raiders.
Tusken Raiders.
He's full of anger and hate.
Yeah,
And then
he hates sand.
He ended up having those dreams in episode 3 where he saw Padme was going to die.
And not only that, but if you really start seeing more of a what was I gonna say now?
Anyways, he sees where Padme's going to die, and the Emperor uses that to his advantage to get Anakin to go to the dark side, because he says, with the power on the dark side, he can keep people from dying.
Not only that, but you also start seeing him break away from the Jedi Order. Start,
Killed Count Dooku. That's not what they're supposed to do.
The Jedi Order, they didn't marry and stuff, and he married.
They captured people to kill him, but he killed Count Dooku.
Yeah.
And he knew he was guilty after.
And then, of course, you think at the end of episode 3, it's over. He's dead. He fell in the lava.
Nope. Emperor gets him.
He becomes Darth Vader.
Yep.
And that's probably his most iconic role. And for the most part, he's a very tyrannical person, Just destroying everything left and right, using the Force, choking people,
Correct.
And then you finally start seeing him kind of change, You can tell Luke, he even tries to influence Luke,
Yep.
And Luke never really goes to the dark side,
And you can tell Luke never really would go back and forth between light and dark like his dad did.
Yeah.
He was always, you kind of knew he was staying on the light.
And then, of course, the biggest change in Darth Vader's character, when he
Lightsaber.
When he killed
The Emperor?
Yes, there we go. I gotta stop stuttering during these. But yeah, you see that's his biggest change. That is his turning point right there.
That's when you're like, whoa, okay, he's a good dude at heart.
Yeah.
Wait, when he cuts the dude's hand off?
He actually does care.
No.
No.
Oh, he cuts Luke's hand off.
He grabbed him.
That
and
was
he
in
threw him
episode 5.
down.
Yeah.
He wasn't good in episode 5. But episode 6, you saw signs.
You saw him kind of become the good person he is.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest turning point in his character's development. Just becoming.
He always had dark to him, so it wasn't that much of a surprise. But whenever he got up, threw the Emperor down into the whatever it's called, and you're just kind of like, whoa, why did he just do that?
And similar to Iron Man, he made a sacrifice.
Yeah, he
for the
sacrificed
greater
himself
good. Yeah.
for
to
those
save.
he loved.
Yeah. And I think that's a very good point. That he did do that just for the people he loves.
That's what Scarlet Witch did. Or Black Widow, my bad.
Oh.
Wrong person.
Red hair.
Yeah, she
It's
did.
fine.
She didn't really have a journey for it, but she sacrificed.
Well,
herself.
she had a journey because she did have some some good character development. Where when she was first with the Avengers, she was a very hostile, not caring person. She didn't think anyone loved anyone really.
She made a quote about wanting to have a family and have like a bunch of kids.
Well, she said that even
but then,
love is a kid's thing. No one really wants it. And then of course for Endgame we see that she loves her family and that's all.
And she had a mom moment. She was sitting there with nothing fixed. Mm-hmm. Didn't even have her hair really fixed. Eating a peanut butter sandwich while her kids are running out playing outside.
Yeah.
I feel like I was the only one that noticed that.
At the beginning.
No, whenever they were on the holograms, it was after.
It's when that's when she finds out where Hawkeye
kids are
is.
Symbolism for the Avengers. She has always wanted to be a mom, but she's never had family.
Oh yeah.
And she was sitting there making sure that everything was running smooth while eating the peanut butter sandwich.
Right.
And the air quote with kids are playing outside, destroying the world.
Right.
Or surveying the world, trying to figure out a way to bring everyone back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, That's a good one. I didn't think about that.
That is a good one.
Is there, I know there's plenty of other characters that have had great development.
I'm trying to think of like a good one that you wouldn't really know.
Do you think of anyone in like real life that's had a heroic transfer? Hey, it's not Robert Downey Jr. His real life,
I don't know about
You don't know about that?
He was addicted to drugs.
Yeah, his father, when he was
came
sick,
out of nowhere and saved him.
Yeah, when he was 6, his dad got him addicted to drugs. He was a terrible, terrible person. It's all through his childhood, he was a terrible person.
He looked fat in his mugshot.
Yeah, and ironically, the place he decided to change his life around at was at Burger King.
That's pretty cool.
And that's why in the Marvel movies, that's why he always wants a cheeseburger.
Huh. Who?
Like before the press conference, he said he only wanted 2 things. He wanted a phone call with the press and a cheeseburger.
Oh, the actor?
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. I thought that was crazy, And, you looked at him, he just was a very... When you look at his mugshot, he looks like a very terribly put together person. No one liked him. No one, wanted to be... no one
liked him.
Don't make fun of my voice crack. My throat is all... it's all messed up. But you think of, how everyone... when everyone didn't like him because everyone just saw him as this drug head, and now you're looking at him and
lightsaber,
and now he's one of the most loved acters, one of the most top,
cool.
One of the most top paid, very.
And he was just.
What was that?
It's the AC, guys. It's okay. Calm down.
Thought it was the tornado siren.
Yeah, looks like tornado weather out there.
There's an avalanche.
Stan Lee actually created him to be hated.
Who?
Iron Man he created a character that was started off to be hated, but then he wanted everyone to end up loving, which ended up happening. If y'all didn't know that. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Football.
Oh, from what?
Football. That little cross.
Shrek.
Hey! What?
Hey!
Hey
What
now.
are you doing in my swamp?
Donkey!
Why don't you get away from me, donkey?
2?
I don't know any.
Oh, he's
words
caring
yet.
about Fiona.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you think about Shrek, though. He was a very, very solitary person,
Selfish.
Yeah, he didn't want to be messed with. He didn't want to...
He didn't even want to share his house with the donkey.
Yeah, he was very...
Come on, Shrek. I'll make you waffles.
Oh, man.
Hey, are we there yet?
Ah!
Are we there yet?
Yeah, there are. I love you.
Alright.
Anyway, you see his transformation throughout the movies.
Alright, we gotta stop hitting the table. I'll just edit all that out.
That's a good 3 minutes worth. But you see his character, from the first movie where he's just a very self-centered person.
Re-say all that.
You fuss. I'm leaving that in.
That was Felsberg, and he said that
Idiot!
word. Felsberg said.
Did. Okay,
And
so.
the C word.
I didn't say the C word.
And the G word.
What's the C word? What's the C word, Jackson? Say it.
Crap.
He's a.
Why is it? Have y'all seen that video of that guy spray painting stuff? And they're like, "What are you doing?" He just turns around.
All right. Anyway,
so
Shrek.
So you see, Shrek is a very self-centered person in the first movie, and even he rescues a princess. He's not in it to actually rescue her. He can care less what happens to her after he rescues her. He just cares about fixing what's his home. And that's all he could care about. And then, of course, you see towards the movie, he starts falling in love with her, and he starts to develop emotions and change his feelings and change his lifestyle. Like he said himself, ogres are like onions. They have layers.
They do have layers.
They have layers.
Hudson, what do they have?
Anyways.
No. Oh my gosh, what does it say?
No.
Alright.
So anyway,
like layers.
And of course you see in the second movie, don't answer. Don't answer it. Hello.
Now Vesuvius erupted over.
The way you meant that wrong.
So let's talk about someone who hasn't necessarily had a positive journey
Logan Paul.
We are going to talk about Logan Paul. So Logan Paul always
James Charles.
That's new. I don't know much about that one.
I don't know either.
We should keep this for when we're older and just release an uncut version of episode 3. This is the pilot episode.
Sweet dreams are made
If this, who am I to disagree? I travel the world in the 7 seas. And everybody's look. Damn, we could do that. If we get. That was funny thing.
Oh, that's.
That would have been great if we kept singing that. We could use that as an outro.
Dude, that's gonna be our intro. We're just gonna.
Oh! Did it crack?
No!
It cracked.
It caved in even more.
It flopped.
You see the glass shards.
Oh my god.
Dude, for real.
Let me see it. Let me see your phone.
Dude, look at him. Look at him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Wait, is that a glass door?
Dude, shine your flashlight on it. Shine your flashlight on it. Feel it.
Bro, you did.
Hey, we're in 27:45 seconds. 10 minutes of this is just.
Dude, we're keeping it PG.
Are you for real?
Okay, guys. So
I didn't even say nothing.
Okay. All right, guys. So
Jackson, drop a phone.
Wait, hey, pause, and then we're gonna do the outro.
we're gonna do that. Sure. So to recap, we talked about Iron Man, Anakin Skywalker, Robert Downey Jr., Black Widow, and Shrek. I think that's plenty. You guys think that's plenty?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're gonna close this episode out for now. I know this was a little shorter than usual. We're a little crunched for time right now. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and cut it here for now. We promise the next episode is gonna be a little better. This one's just a little more rushed than we wished for. So anyway, with that, I'm Garrick. I'm signing out.
My name's Kobe.
It's Jackson.
Peace.